Yeah, I can. I can tell you that an official notice of suspension of overtime has been issued to State Running Services. It will take effect as of Tuesday morning, 8 o'clock. There will be official suspension of overtime in place. State Running Services official layoff notice will also take effect the next day, which is Wednesday. So we have those two issues running side by side with each other, which is management proposal of layoff, and the Poor Workers Division of the BIU, the suspension of overtime to protect their 37.5-hour work week.
You had mentioned plans of meeting with management at Stevie Dorn. Did that meeting occur and how did it?
Yeah, the meeting did occur. All we wanted some clarification because in the letter that they sent to us dated the 27th of November, they had mentioned that they had spoken about layoffs or redundancies, right? We know as well as they do that Stephen Running Services can't have redundancy. They just hired 3 to 4 people over the last 4 to 5 weeks to bring the numbers up to a respectable number, because I think right now we have to date they have about 40, and prior to that they had about 36 or 37 people working on the dock, and it weren't enough to cope with vacation, sick, and all that kind of stuff. That's why they brought this additional three persons in. We had suggested that they put a freeze on hiring, recognizing that they've got some financial challenges right now. Let the man handle what they've been handling for the last couple of years now, knowing that they've been short staffed or what have you, and the man was prepared to do that a bit further, but management have seen fit to go ahead and hire 2 or 3 individuals staff. So they can't have redundancy. I know that for a fact. They can. I'm not saying they can't have a layoff in accordance with what the agreement says. Nobody's refuting that. What we're refuting that basically, if the workers' guaranteed work week is in trouble, then maybe we need to. That's why they're suspending the overtime to hopefully try to protect the guaranteed 35-hour work week. And make no mistake about it. I read some of what Mr. Older said in his release, because he talks about the royalty being archaic or whatever, archaic, I think he said. And from our point of view, that's very concerning, because when we gave up the 35-hour, the royalties back in the 1970s, we actually paid for the guaranteed work week. So if now the guaranteed work week is going to be taken away from us, then what we paid for is no longer there. So we need to have some conversation about the container royalty.
Apparently, Stevie Dorn management sent out a release to media outlets today.
Yeah.
If you've had a chance to look at it, what's your thoughts on it?
Well, what I would say to you is that, remember now, the union has its position on this situation, and the management is going to have their position. And very rarely are you going to get the parties to agree on the various positions. A lot of girls want to say that the management staff have been cut. I think he mentioned from 24 down to 14. And he mentioned that there may be another cut taking place. Well, let me just remind the public also that the Poor Workers Division of the BIU, at one point in time, the guaranteed register was just under 70 employees, right? And we haven't had real negotiations to make sure that number is going to be deleted. I just said to you a few moments ago that the number right now is probably 40, but about 6 weeks ago it was down to about 35. And we have, when the number 7 share finally clears, we agreed that the number of registered workers that was going to be docked was going to be 44. We ain't never near 44. So the management continued to save those wages year in and year out. Then for the number that the agreed number was going to be, once the second share finally clears, that the agreed number was going to be 44 million on the dock. We got 40. We're back up to 40. We were down to 35. So for the better part of a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, the management was saving at least 7 to 8 salaries that they weren't paying, because the workers that were there was taking care of the work that needed to be done on a daily basis. So whilst I understand management saying that they've done what they can to cut, the management team, the BIU Poor Workers Division, can still contend that they have 3 superintendents, and whilst the employer is saying that our members will be home on layoffs or receiving standby pay, those 3 superintendents will be there supervising who? They'll be there supervising nobody. And that's one of the workers' main challenges right now, that it appears that they're only trying to get at the unionized workers, as opposed to look at the management across the board.
It's saying here that the dock workers have moved on in stripping the containers.
Well, the dock workers have no part in stripping containers now, because all the containers go over the road. And all the containers are going over the road now, because when the LCL operation closed back in 2008, when they finally closed number 7 shed, the LCL operation now is finished. So that means that any containers that used to be stripped back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, or right up until 2008, no longer are stripped on the Hamilton waterfront. So they're saying that that operation don't exist anymore. And because that operation not exist anymore, it brings the whole question of the guaranteed 37.5-hour work week into challenges. Because prior to us getting rid of container royalties, that's what the workers were guaranteed. There's guaranteed $170 every fortnight. That's what there's guaranteed. If they didn't make $170 every fortnight, the employer made that up $70 up. So what they did in 1973, they said to us, we're going to give you a guaranteed work week, but the container royalties are going to have to be gone. So we gave it up. And that's why we gave up the container royalty, because they gave us a guaranteed work week. So if the guaranteed work week is now going to be in trouble because the stripping operation is completely going off the dock, and because, as I said a minute ago, we paid for the guaranteed work week by giving up the container royalty. If now that's going to be in trouble, we need to have some dialogue with whether it's the employer or whether it's the Ports Authority, whoever it is, about the eventuality of how the dock workers division's income needs to be paid for, because that's their work. It's still their work. If you look at Article 24 conditions of work, stripping and stuffing the containers is still part of the dock workers' work. That work has been taken away from them. It's no different, as I said over the last couple of days. Look at what happened in California, right? We had the clerical staff on strike because they was trying to take their work and outsource it to China and other place. So the longshoremen said, we're not crossing that picket line as long as the strike is going on. I understand now the strike has been resolved and those jobs have been retained in California. So all the port workers are trying to do now is to protect their work. Their work is gone, and they're saying, well, since work is gone now, we're now going to put you on layoff because we ain't got no work for you to do. I'm okay with that. I'm okay if the layoff side are. How the workers are compensated as to what they're losing now is what we need to sit down and have a conversation about.
Christmas and the New Year coming up.
Sure.
What's the process moving forward?
Well, what I would say to you is that we also yesterday did send our terms of reference off to the minister, because we got a letter from the minister on the 28th of November. Both parties did, and both parties were due to respond by yesterday, December 6th. I know that my secretary hand-delivered ours to the minister around midday or a little past midday yesterday, so she does have the BIU's terms of reference for the Poor Works Division arbitration that she's looking now to probably schedule out of November. And even though we got the election on the horizon, which is, on the 17th, I'm thinking that this matter will be referred to arbitration in the not-too-distant future.